Monday, August 11th, 2025, AGNDD intelliReport topic. Jim Lovell. Please pardon any visual and informational inaccuracies in this entirely AI-generated Wikipedia-sourced video article. From Midwestern roots to the U.S. Naval Academy, James A. Lovell Jr.'s early years forged an Eagle Scout, rocketry enthusiast, and devoted husband on the path to service. James A. Lovell Jr., born in Cleveland in 1928, lost his Canadian-born father at age 5 and moved with his Czech-descended mother from Terre Haute to Milwaukee, where he became an Eagle Scout and teen rocketry enthusiast. He studied engineering at the University of Wisconsin from 1946 to 1948 in the Navy's Flying Midshipman program, playing football and joining Alpha Phi Omega while working odd jobs. Amid program cutbacks, he secured a nomination from Representative John C. Brophy to the U.S. Naval Academy, entered in 1948, wrote a treatise on liquid propellant rockets, and graduated in 1952 as a Navy ensign. Lovell and Marilyn Lily Gerlach were high school sweethearts. She transferred from Wisconsin State Teachers College to George Washington University to be near him while he attended the U.S. Naval Academy. They married on June 6, 1952 at St. Anne's Church in Annapolis and had 4 children, Barbara, James, Susan, and Jeffrey. Jim Lovell was among 50 of 783 graduates chosen for naval aviation, trained at NAS Pensacola, 1952-54, and earned his wings in 1954. At VC-3, he flew F-2H Banshee night fighters, deployed on USS Shangri-La, and made 107 carrier landings. He later trained pilots on the FJ-4, F-3H, and F-8U. In 1958, he topped Test Pilot School Class 20, but was sent to electronics radar testing. Considered for Project Mercury, he was rejected for high bilirubin. He managed F-4 Phantom II weapons testing, worked with John Young, then taught and led safety at VF-101, completing USC Aviation Safety School. In 1962, NASA publicly selected its second astronaut group for Gemini Apollo. Jim Lovell reapplied, passed rigorous exams at Brooks AFB, and after interviews at Ellington AFB, was accepted on September 14. Announced September 17 as part of the Next 9, the astronauts moved to Houston, with some building homes in Timber Cove amid favorable mortgage terms, while NASA leased temporary offices until MSC was finished. Training, led by Gus Grissom, included 4 months of classroom work, spacecraft booster familiarization, jungle/desert/water survival, and individual technical specializations. Lovell oversaw recovery systems. Jim Lovell, backup pilot for Gemini 4, flew Gemini 7 with Frank Borman. The 14-day mission tested long-duration flight for Apollo, focusing on medical studies, while Gemini 6 handled rendezvous. After the Agena target exploded, plans shifted to a Gemini 6-7 rendezvous. Borman rejected a crew swap. Gemini 7 launched December 4, 1965 into a near-circular 300 kilometers orbit. The lighter G-5C suits proved hot, so both astronauts were allowed to remove them. Gemini 6A launched December 15th, rendezvoused on its 4th orbit, and returned December 16th after formation flying. Lovell read drums along the Mohawk late in the mission. After the Gemini 9 tragedy, Jim Lovell and Buzz Aldrin moved to backup for 9A, positioning them for Gemini 12, announced June 17, with Lovell commanding. The final Gemini flight refocused on solving EVA challenges through underwater-style training, restraints, and added handholds. Launched November 11, Gemini 12 rendezvoused and docked with its Agena despite radar failure, using Aldrin's sextant readings and onboard computations. Aldrin completed 3 EVAs, 2 hours 20 minutes stand-up, 2 hours 6 minutes free flight installing cables, connectors, and testing tools, 55 minutes stand-up. After 59 orbits, they re-entered November 15, splashing down near USS Wasp, having completed 12 experiments. On Jan 27, 1967, the Apollo 1 fire killed Grissom, White, and Chaffee. Lovell was in Washington for the Outer Space Treaty signing and later was a pallbearer at White's West Point funeral with Armstrong, Borman, Conrad, Stafford, and Aldrin. After the command module's redesign, Lovell joined Stuart Roosa and Charles Duke in April 1968 for a 48-hour seaworthiness test of CM-007A in the Gulf, evaluating righting from Stable 2. Using a urine hose to vacuum water, Lovell coped well. Duke hated it. Roosa was seasick. NASA Roundup headlined it, "Yo Ho Ho and a Bottle of Marazine." Jim Lovell, originally Apollo 9 backup CMP with Armstrong and Aldrin, replaced the injured Michael Collins on the Apollo 9 prime crew with Borman and Anders. LM delays prompted a crew mission swap. Borman, Lovell, and Anders flew Apollo 8 to lunar orbit instead. Launched December 21, 1968, they became the first crew on Saturn V and to reach the Moon, broadcasting Genesis on Christmas Eve. As CMP, Lovell navigated via sextant, recovering from a self-induced IMU error, a skill later vital on Apollo 13. He named Mount Marilyn. Apollo 8 splashed down December 27th after around 933,000 kilometers. Jim Lovell was backup commander for Apollo 11. After Anders left in 1969, Ken Mattingly trained as backup CMP. Rotation slated Lovell, Mattingly, Hayes for Apollo 14, but Mueller judged Alan Shepard unready for Apollo 13, so Deke Slayton swapped crews and Lovell took 13. A rubella exposure sidelined non-immune Mattingly. Jack Swigert replaced him 2 days pre-launch. Apollo 13 launched April 11, 1970, then suffered an oxygen tank fire caused by a faulty thermostat and overheated wiring, disabling fuel cells. Using the lunar module as a lifeboat and performing manual burns, the crew looped the Moon and returned safely on April 17th. After retiring from the Navy and NASA in 1973, James Lovell joined Bay Houston Towing as CEO in 1975, led Fisk Telephone Systems in 1977, and later worked at Centel in Chicago, retiring as Executive Vice President in 1991. He earned the Distinguished Eagle Scout and Silver Buffalo Awards. He served on boards of Federal Signal from 1984 to 2003, Astronautics Corporation of America from 1990 to 1999, and Centel from 1987 to 1991. The family opened Lovell's of Lake Forest in 1999. It closed in 2015. His wife Marilyn died in 2023. Lovell died on August 7, 2025, at the age of 97. Congressional Space Medal of Honor, Presidential Medal of Freedom Apollo 13, Navy Distinguished Service Medals, Distinguished Flying Cross, NASA Distinguished Service and Exceptional Service Medals, Collier Trophy Apollo 8, Harmon International Trophy, National Geographic Society's Hubbard Medal, Smithsonian's Langley Gold Medal. A highly decorated American with top military, aerospace, and civilian honors. Navy Distinguished Service Medal and Distinguished Flying Cross, each with a gold star for a second award, the Presidential Medal of Freedom, Congressional Space Medal of Honor, NASA Distinguished and Exceptional Service Medals, and France's Légion d'Honneur, Chevalier. These awards reflect extraordinary contributions to naval aviation, space exploration, and public service. Jim Lovell earned numerous top aviation and space honors: 3 Harmon International Trophies, the Collier Trophy Apollo 8, Goddard Memorial and AIAA Haley Astronautics Awards twice, National Geographic's Hubbard Medal, FAI Gold Space Medals, Henry H. Arnold and ION Awards, and later the Space Foundation's Lifetime Achievement and NASA Ambassadors of Exploration Awards. He and the Apollo 8 crew were Time's 1968 Men of the Year. He received major civic medals from Chicago, New York, and Houston, and was inducted into the International Space Hall of Fame, 1982, and U.S. Astronaut Hall of Fame, 1993, plus multiple honorary degrees. A far-side lunar crater was named Lovell in 1970. Milwaukee's Discovery World was renamed the James Lovell Museum of Science, Economics, and Technology, then located on James Lovell Street. The Captain James A. Lovell Federal Health Care Center opened in October 2010, merging the Naval Health Clinic Great Lakes and the North Chicago VA Medical Center. After Lovell's passing, Tom Hanks, who portrayed him in Apollo 13, paid tribute on Instagram, calling him someone who dared, dreamed, and led others to places they wouldn't go alone. Held prominent roles as trustee of the National Space Institute, chairman of the National Eagle Scouts Association, and fellow of the Society of Experimental Test Pilots. About a month after Apollo 13's return, Jim Lovell, Fred Haise, and Jack Swigert appeared on The Tonight Show. Lovell cameoed in 1976's The Man Who Fell to Earth. He co-wrote the 1994 book Lost Moon with Jeffrey Kluger, basis for the 1995 film Apollo 13. Lovell first imagined Kevin Costner, but Tom Hanks played him, preparing by visiting the Lovells and flying with Jim. Kathleen Quinlan earned a Supporting Actress Oscar nomination. Lovell and wife Marilyn cameo in the film. He appears as USS Iwo Jima's captain and recorded DVD commentary. Tim Daly and Pablo Schreiber also portrayed him. With a foundation of discipline, curiosity, and family, Lovell was poised to trade textbooks for cockpits, and soon enough to chart a course into spacefaring history.
Thank you for watching this AGND intelliReport, dear viewers. Please like, subscribe, and click the bell button to get notified during new uploads. And make sure to tune in next time. Stay safe and healthy. Cheers.